Iran warns of regional conflict if US attacks, designates EU armies terrorists. Saudi Arabia suspends contracts with 1-800 foreign Umrah travel agencies. Musk says steps to stop Russia from using Starlink seem to have worked. Trump says closing Kennedy Center Arts Complex for 2 years. Apologies, demission, royal glare fallout from latest Epstein file dump. Iran warned on Sunday that a US attack would trigger a wider regional conflict, sharply escalating tensions with Washington, while also designating the armies of European Union countries as terrorist groups in a retaliatory move. The warning comes as the United States has significantly increased its naval presence in the Middle East, following repeated threats by Donald Trump to take military action if Iran fails to agree to a nuclear deal or continues its violent crackdown on protesters. Despite the heightened standoff, both Tehran and Washington have indicated a willingness to resume negotiations, with regional actors such as Turkey pushing for de-escalation. Iran denied reports by state broadcaster Press TV that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps would conduct live-fire naval drills in the Strait of Hormuz. An Iranian official told Reuters the reports were incorrect, and no such exercises were planned. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said the country would not be intimidated by US military deployments. Saudi Arabia has announced several regulatory and sectoral updates in early February 2026, alongside notable regional and international developments. The Saudi Ministry of Hajj and Umrah has suspended contracts with about 1-800 foreign Umrah travel agencies, after a performance review found service shortcomings and non-compliance with approved standards. The suspension affects only the issuance of new visas. Pilgrims who already hold valid visas or confirmed bookings will continue to receive services. The agencies have been given 10 days to correct deficiencies in order to regain approval. Authorities said the move aims to safeguard pilgrims' rights and improve service quality. Separately, the National Center for Wildlife announced the end of the 2025-2026 hunting season on January 31st. Officials said the season, which began in September, was managed under updated regulations aligned with international best practices to protect biodiversity and ensure sustainable use of natural resources. In sports, Spain's Carlos Alcaraz defeated Serbia's Novak Djokovic to win his first Australian Open title. Riyadh also hosted a WWE Royal Rumble event, highlighting the kingdom's growing role as a global sports and entertainment hub. Elon Musk said on Sunday that SpaceX has taken effective steps to stop the unauthorized use of its Starlink system by Russia. In a post on X, Musk said the measures appeared to be working and invited feedback on whether further action was needed. The comments followed concerns raised by Ukraine, whose Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov said Kyiv was coordinating with SpaceX after discovering Starlink terminals on Russian long-range drones used in attacks. Fedorov said Western technology should protect civilians and support democratic nations, not be used to carry out attacks on cities. Despite occasional disagreements between Musk and Ukrainian officials over the war, Ukraine's military continues to rely heavily on Starlink, using tens of thousands of terminals for battlefield communications, and for operating some drone missions. Starlink has significantly increased Musk's geopolitical influence. In 2022, he publicly acknowledged exercising control over how and where the system could be used by Ukrainian forces during the conflict. US President Donald Trump announced on Sunday that the Kennedy Center in Washington will close for 2 years starting July 4th, marking the beginning of a major renovation of the National Arts Complex. Trump, who is also chairman of the Kennedy Center's board, said the closure would allow for what he described as a complete rebuilding of the facility, which he has long argued is outdated and in need of extensive repairs. The plan is subject to approval by the board, whose members were appointed by Trump after he assumed the chairmanship. In a post on his Truth Social platform, Trump said continuing performances would slow construction work and that a full shutdown was the fastest way to transform the center into what he called the finest performing arts facility in the world. He added that the renovated venue would be a source of national pride for future generations. Since Trump's return to office, he has taken a more direct role in the traditionally non-partisan institution, criticizing some of its programming as overly woke and adding his name to the building's facade. U.S. authorities have released a new batch of investigative files linked to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, naming several high-profile figures and triggering political and public fallout in multiple countries. The documents, released on Friday, include references to Donald Trump, Bill Gates, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, and British billionaire Richard Branson. Authorities stressed that inclusion in the files does not imply wrongdoing. Several consequences have already emerged following the release. Norway's Crown Princess Mette-Marit apologized publicly for what she described as an embarrassing friendship with Epstein. Norwegian media reported correspondence between the two from 2011 to 2014. The royal palace said she cut contact after believing Epstein was attempting to exploit their association. The disclosure comes as her son faces an unrelated criminal trial in Oslo.